Who are we to judge what is normal and what is odd? Well, let's just say we've seen a lot of weird stuff. Odd is a mild term to describe the 8 strange and unusual couples we collected on this video. A woman dating a shorter man, or a man marrying someone 10 years his senior, those are all children play compared to the unique stories you are about to read. Prepare to send all your taboos to the recycle bin and embrace the odd reality of our foul century. Of course, you should always look at the bright side. This article can also appear as a celebration of love conquering all obstacles and bringing people together despite the obvious differences. We do warn you, don't attempt what you've seen unless you are comfortable with people talking nasty things about you and laughing in your face. Sultan Kosen and Merv Daibo. When the tallest man in the world gets married, you can bet we are talking about an odd couple. Sultan Kosen holds the Guinness World Record for the world's tallest man, standing a phenomenal 251 centimeters above the ground. Sultan probably had a hard time finding a woman like him, and eventually settled with someone enjoying the air richer in oxygen found at lower levels in the atmosphere. Merv was introduced to Sultan through a mutual friend, and love quickly led to the walk down the aisle. Merv is just 1.75 meters tall, and the two look indeed odd together. At this point, it helps to add that despite his stature, Sultan was a shy man who always ended up scaring the women in his life. Things became easier for him once Guinness offered him the title. We wish them the best. Maria, Paul and Peter. Ever wondered if three-wheeled relationships have a shot at survival on the long term? Just take a look at Maria and the 2 men with whom she shares her life. The setup is unusual because it did not sparkle the expected rivalry and drama. The lover and the husband accept each other around the house, and details what happens in the bedroom are kept private. Could this be the solution many desperate love triangles seek? Although heartbreaking for the children at first, they did learn to accept their mother's inability to choose between the 2 men. You could see they are one big happy family now. Amy Wolf and 1001 Natched. Stop right there. We are not talking nasty bedroom details here. Amy's unusual love interest is a roller coaster called 1001 Natched Nights, for which she fell after riding a record 3,000 times. How is that even remotely possible? Scientists say yes, and they even have a name for it: objectum sexuality. Amy was most likely a child that faced difficulties while trying to get along with the others, not to mention finding a romantic partner. The ride offered her thrills never experienced before, thus explaining the unnatural connection. How is Amy cherishing her love? She has a photo of the fairground ride on her bedroom wall and keeps nuts and screws close by. Amy even contacted park management and proposed. Sanal and Helen. Look no further than Africa for the next couple that defies all taboos the modern world has regarding romantic relationships. Not only did the marriage was arranged and paid for, but it took place before the eyes of the real husband. 8-year-old Sanal married 61-year-old Helen in a ceremony that went by the book. The two exchanged rings and even shared a kiss, all under the eyes of Helen's man. The boy wanted the ceremony to be a way of cherishing and pleasing his ancestors. Don't even attempt to understand the backbone of this tradition. South Africans might have imported the white wedding ceremony, but their tribal beliefs still thrive. Mangli and Sharu. This poor 18-year-old from eastern India listened to the village elders and married a stray dog. What's the explanation behind this strange and unusual human-canine union? The superstitious folks of rural India were convinced an evil spirit possessed young Mangli, and that her first husband will get to suffer. Sharu's role was to perform a cleansing and prepare her for a real marriage. Just imagine being a tourist visiting the village while the ceremony was well underway. Your gut feeling would be to run away as quick as possible and don't look back. Or would you stay, hoping that a Bollywood-like scenario is seconds away from unfolding? Let's recap the reasons that make such a marriage not a bad idea. Dogs never cheat and don't spend the nights down at the local pub. On the other hand, all that they can provide for the family are bones and the occasional dead cat. Jayla Cooper and Jose Griggs. What happens when the doctors give you only a couple of weeks left to live, and you still didn't start chasing your biggest dreams? When 9-year-old Jayla Cooper was diagnosed with leukemia in a terminal phase, her biggest regret was that she would never get to wear a white dress and go down the aisle. However, her family walked all the needed miles to make that dream come true. The hardest part about staging a wedding is finding a groom ready to play his role. During her stay at the Children's Medical Hospital in Dallas, Jayla befriended Jose Griggs, a kid whose battle with leukemia went the other way. At this point, it needs to be said that the state of Texas allows marriage with parental consent for teenagers older than 14. That's why the union between Jayla and Jose was merely symbolical. Xander and Kelvin Spencer. Xander and Kelvin Spencer formed the luckiest couple in the history of humanity. Winning the lottery and enjoying a carefree stroll through life is everyone's biggest dream. This couple bought a winning ticket 3 times in just under 1 month. Yep, you heard right. Miss and Mr. Spencer did not settle with winning $1 million in the Virginia Powerball lottery. They kept on playing, and luck smiled back at them again. A modest sum of $50,000 followed by another $1 million made them confident they can join guys like Bill Gates at the top of the table without doing something revolutionary. Nevertheless, one should remember all the incredible stories of those who won the lottery in the past and lost the money afterward. "We're not finished yet," are the exact words with which the Spencers announced they are not yet ready to give up the habit of picking numbers. Let's just hope they don't spend all their money chasing what most experts consider mathematically impossible to happen. Liu Yi and Liu Yi. You might be over-obsessed with your person and still be light years away from what Liu Yi did. The 43-year-old Chinese from Zhuhai married himself in a ceremony that raises a couple of interesting paradoxes. The ceremony in which he exchanged vows with a cardboard copy of himself wearing a traditional Chinese wedding gown might be the most absurd thing ever. Do you count as gay if you marry yourself? How did the Chinese Communist government allow such an abomination to ruin the country's reputation as extremely ethical and conservative? There are many reasons for marrying myself, but mainly to express my dissatisfaction with reality. This marriage makes me whole again. That was Liu's toast held in front of 100 guests. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and as always I welcome your comments, so share your comments down below as I love hearing from you. And as always I will see you again in my next video, and remember that I love you all. Bye for now.